Howdy. We have here an Escient mc-201d. It has an interesting fault on it. What happens is you stick the disc in here, it takes the disc and it tries to stick the disc into the drive, and then it just goes back and forth, constantly sticking the drive in, over and over. So, what I discovered is that if there is no disc, because you can stick a disc in the front and it'll think there's a disc still rolling around even if you take it out of the carousel, because you have the top off and you can just pull it out. It'll do the exact same thing. So basically the problem seems to be that it doesn't think there's a disc. Now, I pulled off this drive. This is a little bit of a pain in the neck, but if you go out and search for the VGP-XL1B disassembly instructions or service manual or whatever you want to call it, that actually shows you how to disassemble this device as well. The only difference between this device and the Sony version is that the Sony version puts the driver board on the back of this, at least as far as I can tell. Looks like the Sony version puts the driver board on the back of the optical drive here, and that way it only has one cable, which is the cable that comes from the driver board to the I/O board, basically, which is either SCSI or IDE. Probably, like, the more I look at it and think about it, maybe it's just an IDE cable, but otherwise it's all the same. The same little thing, and also, yeah, it'll have a power plug going into each, or the drive itself. It also looks like there's an additional cable for probably more controls or something. But anyway, so what it looks like the system does here, I pulled this board off. So it'll take the disc and it'll load it in, and there is a little square hole right here. Right at that little square hole is this thing. If you turn it over, you see that it's basically got a reflector sensor. It's just basically an infrared transmitter and receiver. On what it's supposed to do is it's supposed to bounce the infrared signal off of it. So it's possible the infrared transmitter is bad, or the infrared receiver is bad, or both of them, and it's not detecting that there's a disc. Because this is a very simple board. There isn't a whole lot else that can go wrong with this board. If you look at it, there's only a few components on here, and all of them are basically Hall effects, whatever you want to call those things. Basically detect where bits of mechanical bits are actually at, and things like that, and has power connectors for the motors that control the mechanical bits that it's detecting, and so on. And like one capacitor, one resistor, and a plug for the cable that goes up into that particular board as well. So I'm ordering a replacement part. Hopefully it fits good enough on this one. I might make it do an update if I actually get it to work properly. But I mean, this looks like a pretty simple fix. If it's just that it's a pain in the neck to get off, because you don't have to take everything off. And honestly, I might have been able to get this board off without taking the whole drive off. But I have another problem. The posts disintegrated. This one half disintegrated, so this one, because I guess the plastic's brittle. So that's going to be another thing I'm going to have to fix. I don't just have the screws in there, I also have the plastic pieces. I'm going to have to glue that all together and hopefully keep it to stay put. Because I don't think this thing's supposed to be rattling around. That's the one thing about this particular unit. It seems like there's a lot of brittle plastic trying to disintegrate on me on this one. That, and they put styrofoam peanuts in the packaging, so I had to deal with that a lot. Anyway, this was just a quick video, and just Interesting how it's detecting disks just through like a simple infrared detector. Although it'd be really nice if, it could just pretend that there's a disk in there, but obviously that's not what happened. So it's just never closing the disk drive and trying to run the disk because it doesn't think there's a disk in there. That's my theory, anyway. Alright, well, this is a big mess of wires, but I'll get it back together. I took pictures and should be fine. Later.